Talking with Morgan Hook, who's the Deputy Press Secretary for Governor Paterson. We were asking him about the situation with the military ballots in the 23rd Congressional District. As you're probably aware, the military ballots had to be sent out without the congressional district race attached. We would just want to know what the governor is doing to avoid this situation in the future.
Well, the governor actually, this was a problem also during the special election for the 20th special election that we held to fill Kirsten Gillibrand's seat earlier this year. And the governor had actually already been working on legislation at the time. And after that race, we tweaked that legislation a little bit and got it. Governor proposed a bill over the summer. We got it passed in July. Governor signed it on July 11th. It does two things. One, it extends the deadline for the state to receive or the counties to receive those absentee ballots, extends it from 7 days to 13 days. So as long as the ballot is postmarked by the election day, the bill that the governor had passed over the summer allows the counties to receive and count those ballots for up to 13 days after the election. The other thing it does, which is I think even more critical, is allows people to apply for those ballots electronically, which is something that they weren't able to do before. So previously, prior to this law being passed, in order to get an absentee ballot, you would have to write a letter to your county, send it, let's say you're overseas. You would write this letter, it would send it, via snail mail. They'd get the letter, they'd send you then an application for an absentee ballot. All of this done over, standard mail here. Send you the application, you fill out the application, you send that back to New York, then they send you the ballot. What the law that the governor got passed over the summer allows that to be done electronically. Now, you can't send ballots, you can't send a ballot electronically yet. A ballot has to be a paper ballot. I know that the feds are looking at that to a certain extent to see if they can fix that. But as of right now, the ballot itself still has to be put on paper and has to be sent back and forth by mail. But the application, the asking for an application, that can all be done electronically now, so that somebody who is overseas, someone who's in Afghanistan, for instance, can just go online and apply for that ballot immediately, and that saves days off the front part of getting that ballot, actually getting it overseas, so that they can get it in their hands earlier and fill it out and then send it back with a little bit more time. So those are the two provisions that the bill provides for to sort of help people who are voting overseas.
And we always seem to have this problem during special elections, so maybe is it appropriate to look at the legislation that governs special elections and maybe extend the timeline between the issuing of the proclamation and the time in which the election is held?
Yeah, well, that's something certainly that, particularly in light of this race, is something that our counsel's office would be willing to look at. But what we found with the 20th race was that beyond 13 days, we really weren't receiving any more ballots. That the bulk of the ballots come in for the first 7 days after Election Day. That's when they're sent in. And then between day 7 and day 13, it really starts to be a trickle that comes in. So, I mean, we looked at it from that point of view and said, we'll probably get most of the ballots that we're going to get, if not all of the ballots that we're going to get, are going to come in within those 13 days. But if it turns out in this specific case, for instance, if it turns out that this is a problem and that we need to look at, of course, with a special election, I should probably explain. With a special election, the governor can issues as soon as there's a vacancy in Congress, in this case, Congressman McHugh, he can issue a special election proclamation, and that special election must be held no sooner than 30, no later than 40 days after the proclamation is issued. So he's got that 30 to 40 day window after the proclamation is issued to set for the special election. So if there's a determination that there needs to be 45 days, 60 days between the issuance of the proclamation and when the special election occurs, that's certainly something that we're willing to look at. But with the law that was passed over the summer, we're hoping that we've alleviated some of these problems.
Morgan, thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yep, happy to do it.